In this video, we're going to see how we can improve the formatting of a copy and pasted table into a article. So you can see that this is the result we want in the end. We want a table that is colored in nicely, also covers the width of the page, and of course, even this table in the document doesn't seem to be perfect, but we'll do the best we can. First, we edit the document. Once the editor is open, then we can scroll down to the table. And I think first thing we see on the left-hand side there is a column, if we scroll down, which is completely empty. Totally not necessary to have that column there. So let's remove it. Click in the very first cell in the column you want to remove. Click on the right hand mouse button. Go to column and then delete columns. And voila, the column is now deleted. If you scroll down, which I do very quickly, we can see that. The next thing we can do is to space out this table to 100%. Why not fill the whole page? So again, once we are in the table, we click on the top left cell. We click a right-hand mouse button, click Table Properties, and you will see that the width of this table is 784 pixels. But we can make it much better by clicking on that arrowhead, change it to %, and then change that to 100%, which means that the table will fill 100% of the available space to it. We click on OK, and you can see how the table has been changed. Right, now the next thing we can do, if you look at the original document, you will see that some of these cells here all display a second row of text. So if we click there on C paragraph and we hold the shift key in and press enter, we can create a second line. If we pull that to the right, you can see you have the same situation there. Hold the shift key in, press enter, and we have a second line. In the document, number of ends, so we're going to change that, number of ends. Hold the shift key in. When you put your cursor just in front of the E, press enter, and you have that. If we look at this line, number of bowls, cursor in front of the B, hold shift key in, press enter, and we do that. You could simply put it there. You don't have to change the size of the columns to be able to do that. Just click in front of the P, hold the shift key in, press enter, and it will be there. To prove that, if we stretch out that column, you can see that it has done that. Right, so we bring that back. And we can of course do exactly the same with section responsible. Click in front of the R, hold shift in, press enter, done. Now we can actually concentrate on making these columns a bit better. So in this specific editor, this is possible to do. Other editors can't really do that. But you can simply go on the line, wait for the cursor to change to that. Can you see? You click, you hold the mouse button in, the left mouse button. You drag it over and you can move the line a little bit. So what we're going to do is, let's move this line over a little bit because this is a larger text width in this column. And we can do it something like that, and I wouldn't do it further than that. Let's just keep it like that. Right, we can make that one a little bit bigger because there's only a sort of small number in that column. The same with this column. We can make it smaller, smaller. So we can just play around with it until we are happy with the result. Smaller, and that looks good. So I'm going to leave it there. Of course, you could do a lot better than that. Now, the next thing that we can quickly do is to just make sure that everything is aligned properly. Um, you can see that some text is left aligned, some is center aligned, and nothing is right aligned, of course, not that I can see. So we'll leave it like that, but a lot of this text, if I scroll down slowly, you will find is not consistent. For instance, there, that should be left aligned. And how do we do the left alignment of that? We click on that button, which will left justify the text. So we keep on doing that. You have to do this one cell at a time, unfortunately. There's no way to select multiple cells in this text editor to be able to do that. But we'll just quickly, that one is left aligned. It should be centered. We center that. That should be centered. That should be centered. 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 And centered. As well as that. Centered and centered. So there we have the whole lot done. Now you can of course also see that sometimes you will have a big gap, a very thick gap here, and sometimes it is not known why. So there must be a reason why this gap is so big. So if you would click there, and once you have clicked in that first column, you press Control and A, which will select everything. Didn't want to do that, so I'm going to escape out of that. There's a button here where you can select all or unselect all, and there you have it. So let's unselect everything. So what I can do is I can go to the first uh, cell top left in this table, click with my mouse button, left mouse button, hold it down, and then drag and pull it down. Try and do it slowly so you don't enter out of the table like that. Select everything inside the table, just everything inside the table as such. Then go to Format. At the moment, Format says Normal. If you click on that arrowhead, then you can change that to Normal div, and you will find that that compresses the table a little bit better, makes it the spacing a little bit better. Still have no idea why this line is thicker than the others, but this is obviously due to, and I'm just pressing delete all the time to make sure that I can find somebody. But this is obviously due to the kind of formatting that has been copied over from the outside document. So I'm going to try another method, and that would be to click on the first again, click left mouse button and hold it in, then drag it over down to the bottom again, Not sure if this is going to work, but let's have a look. So now that I've dragged it all down, I can go to the top just so that I'm there, see what is going to happen, and find a button here that says remove formatting. So we're going to remove all the formatting for this table and start afresh and see if that won't help. So remove formatting, and you can see what has happened. So everything is just, all the formatting has been removed. Now let's just go down and see, and it also fixed the problem with those wide or deep cells that we had that we didn't want. Right, so all we now need to do is we need to just highlight or select the top row, and we can make it bold. We can center everything, and that looks a lot better already. Now, if we look at the original thing, then you can see that it looks like all the text was bold, but that needn't be bold, really. So if you want it bold, then you do exactly the same, select everything and make it bold. Everything now will be left justified, but it is quite readable. As you can see on the left here, all the text seems to be all in one line. That looks quite neat. You can see all the text there. So the 100% formatting of the width of the table seemed to have worked very well. So, right, so I think I'm going to leave it there. Of course, if you can, or if you want to, you can go into each cell and redo everything again. You can make everything bold by selecting everything like we did before. Click in there in the first cell, hold your mouse button down and drag down. That will select all the text. But I think this table now looks pretty neat. What I haven't done yet is I haven't put the colors in there. So the colors, of course, I've made another video to show how we can put the colors into a single cell, which is what is going to have to happen here with this document. So let us try this. The first one, the men's section, must be blue. Right, so I click in that cell for men's section, and I'm going to get myself a piece of paper to write down the numbers, because we're going to have to do that multiple times. So I'm clicking in the cell, I go to cell, I go to cell properties, I click on the background color for that cell, I choose the background color, which is that one, and you can see that that color is, where's my pencil? That color is hash, and this is the blue color. I'm just writing this down on a piece of paper. Hash 3366FF. 3366FF. That is just so I remember which one I'm using, so I use only one blue throughout the document rather than different kinds of blues. Right, so, I select that. You can see how it put the number in there. I say OK. And I say OK again. And it's put it in blue. Now, the next one, junior section, is yellow, so, or amber, yellow I would assume. So I click in that cell, right hand mouse button, cell, then cell properties, choose the color. I need a yellow that is pretty bright, maybe, no, that is almost greenish. Right, so we'll use either that yellow, which is 4 Fs and 2 zeros, or we can use that 4 Fs and 2 threes. We'll use that one. So I'm just writing this down. The yellow is hash F, 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 3 and 3, just so I can remember. I say OK, and the color is in there. So I can go into the next section and do exactly the same. I know that that needs to be the same yellow, cell properties, background color, and you can see that it has sort of kept that in there, but the number is not in there, so you're going to have to click on it again and say OK and say OK. And this is how you would go through doing all of them. So if you look at the next cell is a blue again, so we'll use the same blue that we used there, and wherever we have got the blue we'll use the same blue. Wherever we've got the yellow, the same yellow, and every other color, the green, and this kind of dirty pink. I'm not sure quite exactly what that color is, but we'll try and find a color. Let's see, that is the 4-wood singles W. So the 4-wood singles W, that is women's section. Interesting. So so you got the 2 yellows. I'm looking at the document on my other screen, and then that should be a blue, and that should be the one. So if I click right hand mouse button, go to cell properties, choose. Now I need to find that kind of color. So let us just have a look. You can see the colors there. So I'm just putting it on the side. So that's not it. No, that is a bit bright. That is also a bit bright. Go over to the right. Now that looks very much the same as that color. I'm not sure that it was meant to be that color. That is a bit higher. So let's go to the left. No, the left. I'm just going to move it out slightly more. No, this is more purple. That is too much, too little. So I'm just trying to get the color that's closest to this. And it seems to be that color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there, write it down, which is just call this pink, hash FFCC99, FFCC99, just so that I can replicate the colors. OK, OK, and the color is in there. So I'm not going to do all of this in this video, but I will complete all of this. But this was just to show you how it is done to get it in there. So I will do the rest of this, but not inside the video. This is all for this video, I think. I just wanted to concentrate on how to improve the table. There's other things to be done as well, but I'll do that in another video. That is all for this video. Thank you for watching.